Hello, kallexnuh here with another Topic of the Week video. Christmas month may be over, but we march into a new year with even more topic videos. This week's topic was submitted by kallexnuh, and they asked, why aren't alternate versions of characters allowed in films? Talking comics. I'd love to see a Batman Beyond movie or a Superior Spider-Man movie. The short answer, cha-ching. Darcy, stop. The cat. Yeah, but the short answer is money, and execs just want that money. The issue here is basically they want something that's more recognizable. Now, if you ask an average person about Batman, they probably go, yeah, I know Batman. But Batman Beyond might be slightly less recognizable. So they will go with something that's more normal and more average and less with cats standing on my laptop. So the thing is that, you know, sure, I would love to see all these different alternate versions of comic characters. I would love to see all these different. So I'd love to see different kinds of versions of characters, just to do something different. But these people don't care. No, that's just it. They don't care. All these producers and stuff are not comic book fans. They're not even comic book movie fans. They are producers. They are just people who want money. So that's why just Batman is one of the more recognizable superheroes. Batman and Superman. That's why they've had so many movies made about them. In terms of, since the 89 Tim Burton movie, I think they've had, 7 live-action Batman movies, and then he's going to be up and coming in the new Batman versus Superman. That's why Superman has had, is it 6 movies? I don't know. I've only watched Man of Steel, unfortunately, so I don't really know how many Superman movies there have been. But they're the most recognizable. They're classics. That's why they get all these movies. That's why you haven't seen an Aquaman movie. At least, you don't really see much of Aquaman anyway outside of animated stuff. That's why you don't see a Cyborg movie. That's why you haven't seen, a Starfire movie or anything like that. They're going for recognizability, and they almost refuse to put in anything to give the big title to anything that's not instantly recognizable, at least in their eyes. Sure, these people might not even understand how popular Wonder Woman is. Wonder Woman has gotten her own animated movies. And I know I did watch one. I think, was it the 2009 one? It was one where Steve was voiced by Nathan Fillion, because he's Nathan Fillion. And I think that was the 2009 movie. And it's like, but they haven't gotten a live-action one, and now we're going to have her shoved into the Batman versus Superman because Wonder Woman. It's really because they don't care. And it's so disappointing because especially when you actually get people who are working on it who love these comic books, unlike people like Christopher Nolan who have an obvious resentment towards comics for basically not being their vision. But we're not allowed to get these different versions. And one of the things is that a lot of times these people don't want things to be confusing. That's why things like the stupid bat embargo existed. Because I believe it was, while Christopher Nolan was using the Scarecrow, I believe it was the Batman show, which I enjoyed that show very much when I watched it as a kid. I believe that show was prohibited from using Scarecrow simply because he was in the Christopher Nolan movie, because to avoid confusion. And, that's why they cancel all these things. That's why Cartoon Network had canceled these shows, and it's just like, oh, we don't want things to be confusing. It's like, oh, well, if Young Justice was on the same time as Green Lantern the animated series and Beware the Batman, oh no, this would just be confusing for people, even though it's obviously different shows. They basically just think everyone is stupid, especially kids. They think kids are stupid. So they're like, oh, well, they can't handle it. Oh, yeah, we can handle having Hal Jordan in Green Lantern the animated series and having Hal Jordan in Young Justice. Even though I never watched Young Justice. But it's so insulting. Like, if we had a new Batman movie coming out, and then they also wanted to make a Batman Beyond movie, they wouldn't make the Batman Beyond movie because it's not just Batman, and it's also too confusing. Because, people might look at this and say, whoa, 2 different Batmans in 2 different movies? You gotta stop there, people. You're gonna confuse the children. And it's insulting, really. That's all it is. I mean, we've seen, especially, I like Amazing Spider-Man, but some parts of it just felt like a retread. Cats, stop! Stupid cats. We've already seen the Peter Parker origin story in the original Spider-Man movies, and then we see another Peter Parker origin story. I mean, we saw the origin story in the 1989 movie, which that's probably one of the only things I really have to complain about. The 89 Tim Burton movie. The first one. The second one was awful. And then we see another origin story in Batman Begins. Though, at the very least, that movie was trying to do something different. And it was not that bad, unlike the other Nolan movies. Excuse me. But, yeah, they're always going to keep rushing out all these origin stories, and we're going to get, apparently, another Spider-Man movie. That's another reboot. It's probably going to do the exact same thing. We're going to get another origin story. And at some point, we're like, we've already gotten that. And within the last 15 years, we've had 5 Spider-Man movies in the last 15 years. Averages out to 3 movies, so a movie every 3 years. It's like, we don't need, no. Goodness gracious, that cat was eating up my wires. But it was let's see something different. Let's see a Spider-Man 2099 movie. Let's see a Spider-Man Noir movie. Let's see something different. Let's not rehash the same things over and over again. I like Amazing Spider-Man. It's a good movie. But, all they're going to keep doing is go with the same things. Hey, that sold. Let's do it again. That sold. Let's do it again. It's like, okay. At some point, people are going to get tired of Spider-Man origin stories. Especially since we only had 2 movies for the Amazing Spider-Man series. Another Spider-Man origin story, especially with the idea that they're going to tie it into Civil War. Oh, why did the MCU have to go so bad to put Civil War in? Even people I know who love the MCU are hating the fact that they're doing Civil War. But yeah, we're not going to get those movies. Simply because, cha-ching, the MCU has done a little bit better in this thing of giving us alternate interpretations. At the very least, let's just look at Phase 1. Because Phase 1 does interesting things. It's different from its comic book counterparts, but it's still good. We're probably not going to get another Iron Man movie that takes something different anytime soon. We're not going to get another Thor movie that does something different without Chris Hemsworth anytime soon because the MCU wants to remain, samey. But, DC doesn't really have that limitation, though they're going to try to rush that Justice League movie at the door ASAP. Which is disappointing because I would love to see a fantastic Justice League movie, but they don't care. They just want money. So instead of letting us have these decent movies, instead of letting us have different movies, I would love to see several different directors take several different Batmans. I'm a huge Batman fan. I'd love to see someone do a new spin on Batman Beyond. A movie about Batman Beyond. It would be different. It would be fresh. I'd love to see a different movie. See, what are some other Batman stuff? I'd like to see... I'm trying to think of different AUs of Batman. But yeah, different versions of it. I'm not familiar with Superior Spider-Man, but there have been plenty of different Spider-Man movies. Hell, I would even take a well-done Spider-Gwen movie. I actually ended up really liking the Spider-Gwen, surprisingly. But, they're not going to do that. Simply because... they want to be safe. They want to know, all right, this will make money. We'll do a superhero, and that's it. They won't do variations. Unless it happens to be something stupid. But like I said, these people are not fans. They don't care. They don't look at Batman Beyond and say, man, that would actually make a really cool movie. Let's Let's get a director and a scriptwriter. Let's work on this. No, they don't care. They look at that and they're like, but that's not regular Batman. Hell, the original idea behind Batman Beyond was high school Batman. It was an editorial mandate, and as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Batman Beyond, I would love to see it, but handled differently. I'm so glad they went in the direction they did, and didn't have it as Bruce Wayne as a teenager being an edgy Batman. At the very least, they created a new character and had a whole new story with it. But these movie makers, they're not going to care. These production studios, they don't really care. They want their money. And they're trying to copy things that are popular. That's why the Justice League movie is being rushed out. So instead of saying, let's give a unique and well-done individual movie for Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Green Lantern, let's just shove them all together into one movie. It's one of the reasons why the animated movie Justice League War failed entirely. It was just trying to shove in all these characters in once and just say, all right, Justice League. And it's like, on top of it, it was just an awful movie. But I think that's definitely representative of the feelings that these people have. They want money, and they say comic books are popular, so they're going to just make those. Honestly, and even after you make them, after the Nolan trilogy, hey, let's have something a little more fun. Let's have something a little more sci-fi. Let's do Batman Beyond. No, they're going to reboot it and do another same Batman movie. It's fine. It's actually something that I've said about a lot of things that have been around for a long time. Sherlock Holmes and even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After you get a decent adaptation, you gotta do something different. It's one of the reasons why I love The Great Mouse Detective. Is it really different? Yes. Does it have all the hallmarks of Sherlock Holmes? Yes, and it's a shockingly good movie. I love The Great Mouse Detective and have since I was a kid. It's one of the reasons why I like Sherlock and Elementary and, even the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movie. You have all these different interpretations, and for something that's been around for over 100 years, come on. We need something different. Even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After the 2003 cartoon, which very much hit all the points of the original, while doing them better, having something like 2012 or the 2014 movie or the 2007 movie, having these different interpretations is good. Give it some variety. Because we don't want to see the same story over and over again, which is what a lot of these people want. They say, that sells, do it again. That sells, do it again. That sells, do it again. And it's boring. Because after the 12th Spider-Man movie that's been, and the 6th reboot, they're going to say, okay, people aren't coming to see Spider-Man anymore. And then they might do something different. Might. And it all comes down to people not being fans. These people are not fans. Even as a more casual fan of Spider-Man, I would love to see more stuff incorporated from the comics. Or even stuff like the animated Spider-Man movie. Some ideas in the Spider-Man 3 movie had some cool ideas. They could have done something different, but it was awful. And then that comes down to these people not understanding what they're supposed to do. So a lot of times people may think, okay, we could make a Batman Beyond movie, but we don't know how that would work, so let's just not do it. Or if they do it, it's going to be awful. It's like that one, I found out that the movie Holes originally had the guy who wrote Donnie Darko doing it, and he turned it into some post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, and it's sitting, and there were like supernatural aliens in it, and you're sitting there and they're just like, can you imagine if they turned one of my favorite books that I read in school into some sort of stupid post-nuclear, psychological horror? And it's just like, that's the kind of stuff we might end up with if they do Batman Beyond. They'll change it to the point where it's unrecognizable, because then they'll get some sort of director or writer who sits there and goes, yeah, that's okay, but my vision is so much better. It's what we got with the Nolan movie, the Batman movies, and even Man of Steel. With Nolan behind that movie, it was such... I've never even seen a Superman movie before, and I knew that was an awful Superman movie. It was bleak, and like, Superman's supposed to be about hope. Yeah. And it all comes down to the fact that these people are not these people don't care. It's a sad truth. It's very rare that you would get someone behind a project that loves it. I mean, I talked about the Godzilla 2014 movie. Gareth Edwards loves Godzilla. He just loves the franchise, and he did it so good in the 2014 movie. He respected Godzilla. He knew what he was doing. And that's the kind of care we need in comic book movies. You know, the Robert Downey Jr. brought in, and Jon Favreau brought in so much love for Iron Man and Tony Stark. I mean, they turned opinions around after Civil War, destroyed Tony Stark's character, and now they're going to destroy it again, but that's besides the point. You know, you need people who love this and people who will bring in something new. But that's a rarity. If we get that, there's a very slim chance you're actually going to get that. And it's really sad. But I guess we just have to hope for the best, really. And hope that when they say they're fans, that when a filmmaker says they're fans, that they're actually a fan, and not even like Shyamalan saying, "I love Avatar: The Last Airbender." So yeah, the really big problem, to boil this down, is that these people don't care. These people don't care. It's like when you have people like Bobby Kotick in charge of a video game publishing company, and these people don't care about video games. You have these people in charge of producing movies, comic book movies, who don't care about comic books, don't care about the idea that there are people who care about it. As long as you have, like, I know there's some people who, because I believe the writer of Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan didn't watch the show, but went back and watched the show, and then what do we get? We get a fantastic Star Trek movie, I should say. So I'm sorry. Wrath of Khan is an excellent movie. As long as you put care into something, you don't have to be a long-time fan of it to put out a good product, as long as you get what you're doing. And these people don't have the care to do that, because they're just going to pump that movie out and they're going to make their money. And then if it doesn't make money, they'll never make another movie about it again, no matter what. It's the sad reality, and it pisses me off, because I would love to see different versions. I would love to see all these different things in comic book movies, but they don't care. So, yeah, I think that's about it. A bunch of greedy corporate douchebags who just want to make money off of people like us who like comic book movies. Okay, so if that's it for today. If you want to submit a topic, if you're on YouTube, just comment below about what topic you want me to talk about, or if you're on Tumblr, just send me an ask and say topic : whatever topic you want me to talk about. Just make sure that it's something about fiction, and it's something specific enough that I can actually talk about it, not just what are your opinions of X thing, and why do you like X thing or Y thing. I mean, it's like this. I want to have something decent to talk about. So, thank you for watching.